Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today on our webinar where we're going to be talking about Motility's newest product, Lot Metrix. Very excited to get this out in front of everybody, discuss exactly what it is, how it works, how it can integrate with your dealership, and how it can add some value. We recently acquired Lot Metrix about a month ago, and again, we're just really excited to show you how this thing works. My name is Josh Calipa, and I'm the Product Operations Manager here at Motility Software. And we're going to be joined today also by Roger Kapoor, who's one of our professional service consultants. So I'm going to be running through and discussing exactly what Lot Metrix is, how it works in the system, some of the requirements, and then I'm going to be passing it over to Roger, where he's actually going to go in the system and show you how it works from a user perspective. And then at the end, we'll have a brief Q&A. We'll be happy to get any of your questions answered. And if we do not get those answered on the webinar here, we'll be sure to send out the recording with my contact information as well as Roger's and get you what you need there. So let's go ahead and jump right in. What is Lot Metrix? Well, it's an inventory management solution. It allows you to locate and track your unit inventory from the moment it arrives on your dealership to when it leaves with the customer and every step in between. It gives you real-time data at your fingertips that you can access via a desktop or a mobile device. So the tool is really designed to allow you to run your business more efficiently, improve that transparency into your assets, and allow you to mitigate and reduce your liability. So we'll talk about how Lot Metrix can do that here today. And I think it's useful to kind of illustrate it, by looking at different aspects or different departments of a dealership. So if we start off in sales, let's go through a scenario, and I'm sure you've seen this one play out, unfortunately, quite a few times. You have a customer that comes to the dealership and has a certain unit in mind that they want to look at. So what's the salesperson do? They have to go fumbling through the website or a stock sheet to see, hey, do we still have this unit in inventory? Is it still here? Is it on the south lot? Is it in the showroom? So they're chattering up somebody on the radio, hey, do you see this unit over here? It's frustrating for the salesperson. It's obviously frustrating and unprofessional for the customer. And there's a possibility to lose deals on this. And this is an unfortunate reality on dealerships on a daily basis. So with Lot Metrix, that goes away. In that same scenario, if you have a customer coming up with a specific unit in mind, with confidence, that salesperson can load up Lot Metrix on their tablet, on their phone, know exactly where that unit is, down to the parking space. They can actually look at the unit, see what type of shape it's in, know if there's any damage on it. So before they arrive there with the customer, they know what to expect. They're not going to be pulling up to an empty parking space. So again, just delivering that efficiency and that transparency into what's really on the lot as opposed just to wondering. And then if we take a look from the service perspective, as of right now, you have units going in and out of a bay all day, communicating through a porter or a service tech through a radio. You really don't know where these units are. How long are they taking to get in and out? With Lot Metrix, that service manager can have on their desktop a dashboard and look at the inventory moving in and out of there in real-time data. So they're actually going to see those units going. They're going to know how long it's in that bay for, who took it, and then where they parked it afterwards. Just really taking away that guesswork. And then on the back end, allowing them to run reporting on that, seeing how long it's taken their employees to move those units around. So just, again, allowing more business to take place, getting more units in and out of the service bay. That's the goal. And then finally, if you look at it from an inventory perspective, from the dealership, or excuse me, from a lot or a unit getting on the dealership until when it leaves, if you think about that whole cycle, that journey of that vehicle, with Lot Metrix, you get to track every step. So from right when it arrives on the dealership, you're able to capture where it's at, take pictures of it to where it's moved to a showroom, to a service bay. And again, each time that it's moved, you're taking pictures before and after. So once damage occurs, which is going to happen, on these lots, you have a ton of inventory. These things are big. They get moved around a lot. They're going to get banged up. So instead of having that he said, she said conversation with a customer or manufacturer of, hey, was it damaged on my lot, or was it damaged before it got here or when it got home? Right now, it's a guessing game. But with Lot Metrix, you can actually nail down exactly when that damage occurred and who caused it. So at that point, you're able to assess liability and save the dealership potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars. So when we look at Lot Metrix as a piece of software, it's very complex in the background as far as the technologies that it leverages and how it works. But for you as the end user, it's very simple. The logic that it's built on and how you use it on a daily basis is very, very simple. So at a high level, how it works is Metrix will integrate with your DMS. So with Motility, it'll integrate with Infinity and Anywhere. And on a daily basis, it's going to pull down your unit inventory data. So it's going to look at the stock number, make and model, things of that nature, and it's going to download it into the Metrix environment. From there, Metrix will program and print out a barcode that it'll actually attach onto the unit itself. So at this point, the unit has a name tag on it, or kind of like an ID tag you can pick up it. So now somebody can approach this vehicle, and with their mobile device, say a phone or a tablet, they can actually scan that barcode with the integrated scanner, and instantaneously, Metrix can recognize which unit it is from that unique barcode. So it knows the stock number, the make and model, mileage, all that good stuff. So now it knows which unit it has, and then it's going to lock the location of that RV unit based on the device that it used to scan it. So at that point, that unit is now live in Metrix. It knows which unit you have, and it knows exactly where it's at. And it's going to track that unit each time it's moved throughout its journey on the dealership. So you're able to see who picked it up, where they took it to, when they dropped it off, and again, having those pictures attached to it, reducing that liability if anything happens across that way. So at a high level, that's how it works. You're essentially putting an ID tag on that unit itself and then tracking it until it sells and it goes home with the customer. One of the really neat things about Metrix is that it's built as a progressive web application. So what that means for you is that you don't have any loss of function from using this on a mobile device or a desktop. It's designed to be that way because it's designed for different facets of the business there. So if you think about it from, say, a service manager's perspective, they're going to use this on their desktop because they're going to have what's called like a manager view. They're going to get a bird's eye view of that dealership. They're going to be able to watch those units move around in real time as they're going into the service bay, or if they're getting moved around on a showroom or going out into the lot. What's nice about that as well is they can actually create what's called an assignment in there. So they can select the driver, select the unit, and select the destination, and do that all within Metrix and watch that assignment be executed. And then from, say, a lot porter's perspective, they're primarily going to be using Metrix on their mobile device, a phone, or a tablet. So in that same scenario, once that assignment is created, they're going to receive that assignment right on their phone. They're going to know what unit they want to pick it up and where they're supposed to take it to, and pick it up and drop it right up there on the phone. Again, cutting down that radio chatter, no need for paper, all done within Metrix and easily able to report on. So some of the features that Metrix has that some other inventory management solutions don't, again, is that the ability to work with that integrated barcode scanner that you're already going to have in your phone or your tablet. It's also that ability to upload photos and videos. I think that's one of the most important aspects of Metrix is really utilizing that feature. That's just going to save you so much money in the end. When damage does occur, again, if it's not your responsibility, you're able to show when it occurred and if it was or wasn't on your lot there. And then again, just the ability to work right inside Metrix, to put those tasks in there, to be able to say, I want this person to pick up this unit and take it over here. That's all done now within a singular environment. So one of the questions that we get a lot, and we kind of touched on it there about the barcode scanner, is, what type of hardware is required? I think a lot of people feel that there's a big upfront cost on hardware for maybe peripheral scanners or just additional hardware, and that's simply not the case. You're able to repurpose and use the hardware that you already have right now. I would imagine that most of your sales staff and porters are using mobile phones or tablets. That's what Metrix is going to run on. There's no need for an additional scanner. You can use that scanner that's right in there. And to note, this does work on iOS and Android devices there, so you don't have to be in one of those groups. You can use both. And then finally, the only really piece of hardware that you have to have is just a printer that can print out barcodes. That's it. Again, so there's not tens of thousands of dollars in upfront costs. It's simply just a barcode scanner and repurposing the mobile devices that you already have. Another question that we get a lot is about, hey, I use Motility right now for my DMS. I'm using Infinity, getting ready to move on to Anywhere, but I've got 5 locations. I just, purchased another business. I don't have Motility on there yet. Can I use Metrix with that? Absolutely. Metrix is DMS agnostic, so it is going to integrate with any DMS, but you're absolutely going to get some added benefits by pairing it as an Infinity or Anywhere customer. As of right now, it's a one-way communication. What I mean by that is Metrix will integrate with any Infinity, but it'll pull down that information on a daily basis. It'll pull down that inventory. As of right now, it doesn't push anything back in there. But that's something we're working on right now. That's one of the first orders of business, is to get that working for our Infinity customers, because we want the ability to make it a true bilateral environment to where you can do everything right within the DMS or Metrix. So if you're thinking of things like maybe a porter task, right now, think about how nice it would be if you're using Metrix to be able to push that geolocation right back into Infinity or anywhere. So when the porter's inside there getting their task, they know exactly where that unit's at. Also from, say, a service perspective, if you have a service unit come on, it's obviously not in your inventory yet. Instead of having to scan that into Metrix to track it and then enter it to the DMS, you can scan it right into Metrix and then instantly populate your inventory in Infinity. So these are just a few things that we're working on right now. Very excited to get those out. And we'll definitely keep everybody in the loop on that. And again, these are the added benefits that you get to use Metrix and be a Motility customer. But if for right now, one of your locations doesn't have Motility and you're using another DMS provider, we can certainly integrate with that, no problem. And just one final thing that I want to highlight here is a couple quotes from one of our dealerships that utilizes Metrix. And I really like these two because they kind of come from different sides of the dealership. We see Shane here, the operations manager at Brett's, just kind of echoes the sentiment of what we think, Metrix is going to do. And it just takes away that guesswork. You're looking at your window, you're looking at your inventory, you're hoping what you think you know is out there is way out there, or if it's damaged, that goes away with Metrix. I mean, you're now with certainty, you know where your inventory is and what shape it's in. And then somebody that's on there using it every day on the ground, Daniel is a lot porter here, really shaving 3 to 4 hours off his day. I mean, his day before this was going out there in that sea of RVs that are all the beige colors, trying to find that one unit and then move it around. That's gone with Metrix. I mean, he's saving 3 or 4 hours a day now. I mean, he can be repurposed for more important tasks. So truly a win-win from all facets and all sides of the dealership. Again, we can't wait to show you guys this in person here. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to pass it over to Roger, and he's going to give us a good high-level overview of what it looks like from the user perspective. Thank you.
All right, guys, we're going to give this a shot. When you launch Metrix, it's going to open up to this screen here. Okay, so you'll have the Metrix screen here. It'll open up to your main inventory screen. All right, across the top, you'll be able to set your dealership here at the top, and we'll actually set that dealership here at the top. And of course, the second section here is going to be your rooftops. So if you have multiple rooftops, you'll be able to set those rooftops here. So if you've got the dealership access, you'll be able to view your additional rooftops based on your permissions. All right. Some of the things, we have the time, and we actually have a weather feature here as well. Just something to know if your drivers are out there and it's 100 degrees out there, you'll kind of be able to know, hey, this is what's going on outside. So a little nifty little widget there. Next, we have there's a little notification icon as well. So if you need to talk to any of your drivers, you'll be able to see notifications here and be able to access your drivers by setting a chat. And I'll get into that here in just a second when I do a demo with Lizzie. Key features, 2 big things that you'll be using every day. We have a create unit, which I talked about earlier, which is actually creating a unit on the fly, and it's very, very easy. Let me show you really quickly. I'll click create unit. In here, it's got my dealership at the top. Obviously, you would want to give it a stock number. Set it up as a sales unit, storage, rental, or service. I'll say this is a sales unit. Flip it over to active. I'll show you guys how easy it is to add images. All right, so I'll go down here. I'm just picking images that I've had pre-stored on my laptop. So I click open. So it quickly adds images in. Of course, I've got these 3 images showing, so you can easily add images of the unit. Again, I'm building a unit from scratch. I'll come in here. If you wanted to have a key number for service, you could put that in there as well. VIN, you can add VIN numbers in. It'll take it there. Put your manufacturer, make, model number in, and then you could set the year as well. So everything works with scrolling. All right, just like it does on a cell phone, you could just roll it, roll the wheel, and it would get your year in. You can also just type it in as well. All right. Now for sales, you can see the benefit here. You can go ahead and put a sale price on it, and then go ahead and have your retail price showing as well. So quick benefit, they'll be able to know what the price is of a unit on the fly without having that little piece of paper, in their pocket that's folded up where they keep all the prices and all the units there. So having this piece right here is really, really going to be very beneficial, because they'll be able to know the price of the unit without having to walk the customer back inside and look it up on the computer. He's going to be able to have the price and have the pictures of the unit, and any details for that unit you can copy and paste from the manufacturer website. Whatever you wanted to put in there, as you can see, all that can be pasted in here. And then of course, create unit, it'll update the unit as well. So those units show up, and those will be back into your inside your master inventory. Now on the left-hand side, I was showing you create unit. We'll come to create assignment here in just a second. Down the left-hand side, we do have all your assignments, and I was talking about it earlier where you had your assignments for the day. And what I mean is this is going to be your assignments for your drivers. So as they come in, they'll be able to launch the application, and based on their permissions, they'll be able to see what assignments they have for today on where to move those units. All right, so I've got one assignment here showing. I'm going to show this and I'll get back. That I'll be able to have Lizzie come back in. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign, I have a unit out there, assignment already made, for Lizzie. Now, what she's going to do is she's actually going to pick up a unit, and I'm going to show you how it tracks her moving it. So I'm going to concentrate on this one here. All right, I'm going to send her a message. All right, so as she picks this unit, 102572T, the employee view is going to show her picking it up. So she's picking it up. As you can see, it turns green. She's running in the parking lot. And now she's coming back. All right, she's coming back in. Obviously, if you can imagine, that would be an RV parking lot. It's picking up my location of my laptop, which is here at the home office. So as she's moving through there, she's acting like a driver. She's picking up and she's dropping it. So when she drops the unit, it turns like an orangish red color. So that means she has dropped the unit off and she's finished. So she picked it up from the start location and dropped it almost to the right-hand side. All right. Now this works out just like Google Maps. You can actually come in here and, if you needed to, you can come in here and actually drill down and you can expand out, okay, with the map. All right. So we let you go in and out just like a regular map. All right. Messaging. All right. So she sent me a message here. All right, so I'm just going to say, all right, awesome. Space 46, perfect. All right. All right, let me tell her to come back in. It's kind of hot out there here in Florida. Come on in. All right. So what happens is you guys can see how easy this chat function is. And she's back in here right now. Thanks, Lizzie. So you can send messages back and forth very quickly to your drivers, as well as tracking them, again, using that master employee view. Okay, so that would be your main map. She's back inside. She's already dropped the unit. Okay. Assignments here. The assignment that she had was this one right here. So that was 102572T. That was the stock number I gave to this unit. All right. So as you can see, it traced her location there, okay, of where she moved. She was running everywhere. She moved it over to the right-hand side. So that's pretty awesome. All right. So now we have that there. So you kind of got a brief history on where it went. Okay. So you can kind of see if the efficiency of a driver, is he going straight to the spot, or is he wasting time, picking up that unit and driving around all day with it? So very beneficial there. So a couple of things. So I showed you the master inventory view. If you guys will have all your inventory in here. Again, you guys saw how I easily created a unit. Couple of options to streamline searching for it. If you only wanted to see sales unit, you could toggle your sales unit on. If you just wanted to look for service, if your advisors are going to have this, they're just going to want to see the service units. They'll be able to flip over here to service units and see your service units. If you wanted to have everything all together, just leave all the switches open, and it's going to have your main view there. Looking for inventory is very easy. We have it's like a dynamic filter here, so you can easily just type in the first couple of numbers or letters of the unit, and it's going to pick it up. So the one that she just picked up was this one here. So I'll come over here. It's a Winnebago Mini. To view it, there's a little eyeball, looks like on the far right-hand side. So to see it, you would just click on it, on that little eye, and it open it up to the vehicle record itself. All right. So again, to get to the unit, you can click on the unit, and then here's the little we call it the carousel, the little JPEGs. And just all you would have to do is hit those little JPEGs to open up the image. All right. Again, here's the benefit. Coming down here, you've got your sales price. You've got your, any detail on that unit will be shown right here at the very bottom of it. All right. Coming down, the scanning feature. When you click that scan, it's going to open up the barcode scanner, and then that's going to be how you would scan it on the fly. All right. So for a driver, they would just click that scan button, scan the barcode at RV. I don't have an RV out there to scan. I wished I did. And then of course you would scan it. It would pull that unit inventory up. It would pull this unit up kind of like I've got right now. And then from there, you could pick up the unit if need be. And then of course, Lizzie could pick the unit up right from here if she needed to, and pick it up and drop it. All right, so where she needed to be. Any of the settings for the higher level, as a manager, I've got admin, dealership and market. And of course, as it moves down through here, I've got, as a user manager, I've got all of my employees listed here. I could deactivate the employees if I needed to by a quick switch there. Editing them, I could click the pencil here, and of course, open up the pencil and see it that way. The feed is done this way as well. The feed is actually pulled in on this side using a feed importer. So it's a very quick, very streamlined way to get everything in there.
All right, let's take a look here. Well, let's take a look in the chat. So it looks like we got one here from Sarah. It says, I see you can make a service unit. How does that integrate with Motility? I know it wouldn't use unit inventory, so does it create a work order when creating a unit, or can you assign a unit to a work order in order to house any photos taken? So great question, Sarah. So right now it's a one-way communication. So with Lot Metrix, it's going to pull that inventory information on a daily basis and populate the Lot Metrix environment. But one of the first things that we're working on for a more robust integration with Infinity and Anywhere is creating a bilateral environment where we can push some data back into the DMS. So that's going to give things like porter tasks or service units the ability to get that information right inside in Infinity instead of having to duplicate entries. So while it's not in production right now, that is in development. We hope to have that out in your hands as soon as possible, and we'll make sure to get that, keep everybody up to date on the progress on that. Great question. Now let's see, just waiting for some more to come through here. And kind of while we're waiting for that, so I know, Roger, you were recently on site for an implementation for Lot Metrix. Can you give us kind of feedback that you got for the people on the ground that were using it? What did they have to say about it?
So basically, I just recently got back from an implementation, and the use of it is so streamlined. And basically, you can imagine if you have 3 or 4 drivers out there running, moving these units back and forth, the benefit of it is just, you don't really see it. I guess a lot of you guys out there probably saw the benefit of it just watching Lizzie move the unit and drop it, like we call it our ghost unit. We took it out there and she moved it, she picked it up and she dropped it. So you can imagine being able to watch where these units go. And as you're watching a driver, they said the benefit of it, they were watching drivers put stuff in wrong locations, wrong spots. So to eliminate that was huge, and actually be able to stop a driver on the fly with the messaging, again, was a big added plus, a plus to the system. So tracking inventory and damage. While I was there, I saw 2 units get damaged. So again, to be able to take pictures of the damage and track it that way, that was a huge piece as well. So yeah, like I said, they loved it, man. They had, like I said, I wish they had it a couple years ago for sure.
Yeah, I bet it is crazy how often those things get damaged. But when you think about how big they are and how close they are parked together, it's bound to happen. So kind of on that, one of the other questions that we've been getting a lot is, about permissions in the system. So we see it from a manager's perspective or like a porter's perspective. How can you set it up? Are there any type of settings in there where basically you could limit certain controls or permissions just to a driver or porter, where like a manager could have more insight into overview and reporting? Is that something that's currently available to LotMetrix customers?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, because you're going to want some people. They're not going to want that level. And of course, you could actually set it up. Either whether it be a manager, sales, or driver, that could be one of those three. So you can set those roles up, and we can actually create roles if it's based on what you wanted them to do and what obviously you didn't want to give them permissions to do, and all that can be delineated under their user settings and permissions.
Perfect. Great. Yes, that's the nice thing. It's kind of not a one size fits all for the dealership. They can kind of tailor it to their needs if they have more than one porter. If they have, multi-managers that are working on different sides of the business, they can kind of set up those permissions appropriately. Let's take a look and see if we have another question here. Okay. Yeah, good question. Was this actually asking about the recording? Absolutely. We'll be sending that out shortly with our contact information. So if anything pops up after the fact, certainly reach out to myself or Roger. We'll get you what you need to know. And also, I do want to highlight that if you'd like to see this in more detail and set up for a personalized demo, please feel free to reach out to myself or your account manager. We'd be happy to set this up, kind of tailor it to your setup, and discuss a little more in detail what it would entail to get you up and running on LotMetrix. But again, we're very, very excited about this product. We can't wait to get it in your hands. So be on the lookout for more documentation as we build out this product. But thanks again, everybody, today for joining.
Oh, hey, Josh, real quick, there's another question just popped up for battery life. I'm assuming they're the person out there was asking about battery life of maybe an iPad or whatever device they decide to use out there. So again, if there is a power supply that's actually on the unit, most of the tractors or forklifts will have an additional auxiliary outlet there. And what I saw these guys use, what we recommend is like the little cigarette lighter adapter with the USB. A lot of those will have that, or you can actually get an adapter that actually will come out to a USB, and of course, whatever style power plug is on the bottom of that iPad or Galaxy tablet, whatever, it could actually plug in it, and that could stay running all day. And obviously, if you needed to jump off of the tractor or the forklift to go down and scan the unit, you can unplug it, or you can actually have it on a wireless charger, which is part of a magnet, and that magnet would be just like you have at home, the wireless chargers for your iPhone or for your iPads. Those have actually magnets on them, and those actually will attach to the tractors or inside the roll bar area, and that's where you would actually affix the device that you're going to use to scan. So you can let it charge that way all day.
Perfect. It looks like Greg has a follow-up question up on that, asking if it's the barcode or basically what's the tracking device that you're going to use to see them move around on the lot there.
So what happens is the magic happens when you actually click the button pickup. When you pick up unit, it starts to take your geolocation. So picking up unit is going to take the snapshot of the location, and it actually starts tracking it. So when you saw Lizzie move and all those zigzags across the parking lot as she was running across the parking lot, those were actually tracking where she was moving. And then when she dropped the unit, you saw her little icon go from green to red, and that's where it stopped. And it did the triangle, they call it triangulation of where it's just hitting all the towers, and it's giving you a precise location. So that's why we say the data plan is the way to go, because obviously Wi-Fi is going to be a big blanket.
And on that, just to kind of emphasize, the actual tracking device, what it's looking at is the mobile device. So it's that phone or that tablet that you use to scan it. So yes. Right when you start it and throw that assignment, you go up, it's tracking that. much like you'd see when you're tracking like a UPS or FedEx or kind of like an Uber type thing. It's using that same technology. So it's tracking that mobile device. So again, thank you everybody for your time today, and just keep an eye out for this video here. And again, any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to reach out. And we urge you to reach out to your account manager as well. We'd be happy to set you up with a quick demo on this. So take care. Have a great rest of the week. Thank you.